I'll be providing some basics about bushfires in Australia, such as what is a bushfire, and provide some historical examples and where at-risk areas are. I'll outline the process for bushfire monitoring, warning, and who will assist in the event of a bushfire. I'll explain some basic actions that community members can take to prepare for bushfires. What is a bushfire? A bushfire is defined as an uncontrolled, non-structural fire burning in grass, scrub, bush, or forest areas. Bushfires are a completely natural process within the Australian environment and have occurred in the continent for millions of years. Many plant species in Australia have evolved to flourish following bushfires and need them to germinate and grow. Aboriginal and Indigenous peoples have used fire or have triggered bushfires for tens of thousands of years to manage the natural landscape. Bushfires are divided into two major classes: flat grassland fires, for example the Black Saturday Victorian bushfires, and hilly or mountainous fires, for example the 2013 Blue Mountains bushfires. How do bushfires start? Approximately 50% of all bushfires are triggered by lightning strikes. The other 50% are due to human activity, either accidental or deliberate. Bushfires are more likely to occur during fire season, when there are high temperatures, low humidity, strong winds present, together with a fuel source on the ground and a trigger. Climate change is expected to increase the frequency and severity of bushfires in coming decades and may already be responsible for increased bushfire disasters. Bushfires tend to be more common and disastrous during El Niño events with its hot and dry conditions. History of bushfires affecting Australia. The record of history of past bushfires has not been comprehensively collated. This has changed in recent years as state and territory fire authorities have become much better resourced. There's no national database of past bushfires affecting Australia prior to European settlement in 1788. It's difficult to record every single bushfire that's occurred in Australia. This is because Australia is very large and the population is relatively small and widespread. It's difficult to gather information about past bushfires affecting areas without direct observation before the modern instrumental and satellite observation period, and before written records were kept. In a recent study, Blanchy, 2014, identified a total of 260 bushfire events between 1901 and 2011, responsible for the death of 825 people. Notable bushfire disasters in the last 100 years or so include the 2009 Black Saturday Victorian event, the 1983 Ash Wednesday South Australia and Victoria event, the 1967 Black Tuesday Tasmania event, the 1939 Black Friday Victoria event, the 1926 Black Sunday Victoria event, You can look online for further details, including information of loss of human life and animal life, and impacts on agriculture, buildings, natural environments, and the wider community. Which states and territories in Australia are at risk from bushfires? The simple answer is every state and territory is at risk from bushfires. The most devastating bushfires have tended, in the past, to occur in the more southern states, including New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia and Tasmania. This is because of the overlap between extreme fire danger weather, large fuel loads on the ground, favourable climate for vegetation growth. This is a map of major bushfires in Victoria in the 2000s. Bushfires don't have to affect large geographic areas to be especially devastating. The 2009 Black Saturday fires were not the largest in terms of area affected, but were responsible for the largest loss of life in a bushfire in Australia's history. Each state and territory in Australia has their own combat agencies for bushfires. Additionally, the Bureau of Meteorology gathers and analyses meteorological data and provides weather forecasts. These forecasts are then passed to state and territory fire authorities. Bushfire danger days are classified into an index that represents how intense, and therefore potentially dangerous, the bushfire day might be based on the fire danger rating. This index slightly differs in each state and territory. Ensure that you're familiar with your home state's classification system. The Bureau forecast includes fire danger index information. One index is used for grasslands, and another index is used for forest areas. Based on this information and other factors, the Regional Fire Agency determines the fire danger rating. Ratings identify the potential rates of spread or suppression difficulty for given conditions. It's important to discuss with others and have a plan in the event of a likely bushfire. I will explain the fire danger ratings and the impacts. Some ratings contain total fire bans. You'll need to check the guidelines for your local area as to what is permitted in your state on days with a total fire ban, such as the use of barbecues. Can you use welding machinery? There is information available online relating to restrictions in your state or territory. There are different levels of the fire danger rating. Using the SA CFS information, catastrophic total fire bans will be declared. These are the worst conditions for a bush or grass fire. If a fire starts and takes hold, it will be extremely difficult to control and will take significant firefighting resources to bring it under control. Spot fires will start well ahead of the main fire and cause rapid spread of the fire. Embers will come from many directions. Homes are not designed or constructed to withstand fires in these conditions. The safest place to be is away from bushfire-prone areas. What should I do if the rating is catastrophic? You need to act immediately. Pack your emergency kit and leave bushfire-prone areas the night before or early in the day. This is your safest option. Act immediately. Do not wait and see. Avoid forested areas, thick bush, or long dry grass. Prepare, know, and practice a plan for when you will leave, how you will get to your destination, what you will do if you cannot leave, where you will go, when you will return. Preparation is important. Extreme fire danger rating. Total fire bans will be declared. These are very hot, dry and windy conditions for bush or grass fire. If a fire starts and takes hold, it will be unpredictable, may move very fast, and be very difficult for firefighters to bring under control. Spot fires will start and move quickly. Embers may come from many directions. Homes that are prepared to the highest level, have been constructed to bushfire protection levels, and are actively defended may provide some safety. You must be physically and mentally prepared to defend in these conditions. The safest place to be is away from bushfire-prone areas. What should I do if the rating is extreme? You need to get ready to act. Only stay with your property if you've prepared to the highest level. This means your home needs to have been constructed to bushfire protection levels. For example, enclosed eaves, covers over external air conditioners, metal fly screens, etc. You must be well prepared and able to actively defend your home if a fire starts. This means you have the right equipment and resources to put out fires around your home. For example, enough water supply, petrol or diesel portable pump, generator, protective clothing, etc. If you're not prepared to the highest level, leaving bushfire-prone areas early in the day is your safest option. Severe total fire ban rating. Total fire bans are likely. These are hot, dry and possibly windy conditions for a bush or grass fire. If a fire starts and takes hold, it'll be hard for firefighters to bring under control. Well-prepared homes that are actively defended may provide safety. You must be physically and mentally prepared to defend in these conditions. What should I do in the event of a severe fire danger? You need to be aware. Well-prepared homes that are actively defended can provide safety. This means you have the right equipment and resources to put out fires around your home. For example, enough water supply, petrol or diesel portable pump, generator, protective clothing, etc. If you're not prepared, leaving bushfire-prone areas early in the day is your safest option. Very high, low moderate fire rating. If a fire starts, it is likely to be controlled in these conditions, and homes can provide safety. Be aware of how fires can start and reduce the risk. What should I do in the event of the very high to low moderate fire danger rating? Check your bushfire survival plan. Monitor conditions. Action may be needed. Leave if necessary. As fire danger ratings are different in each state and territory, please check the websites that apply to you, i.e. the Bureau of Meteorology or relevant sites for your state. For Victoria, Victoria Emergency. For New South Wales, the Rural Fire Services. For South Australia, Country Fire Services. For Queensland, Rural Fire. For Western Australia, Department of Fire and Emergency Services. Canberra, Rural Fire Services. Northern Territory, Police, Fire and Emergency Services. Warning announcements. Announcements from fire authorities are usually made through TV, radio or internet. Further, once an emergency has begun and alerts and warnings and other instructions are being issued, these are generally broadcast live on television and local or international radio via the ABC and its News 24 channels. Giving communities access to current information and further access points for information. Alerts are issued by the authorities when conditions have worsened or when a fire or fires have started but do not yet pose a threat. Communities are asked to pay attention to the situation and take actions accordingly. Warnings are issued which require the public to respond in one way or another. For example, evacuate, stay and defend, etc., depending on the particular circumstances and the bushfire plan they have prepared. It's important to understand that these messages and their content is variable and linked to local conditions, so it's not possible to generalise. You'll need to pay close attention to the relevant authorities for each bushfire emergency. Having noted that each state and territory have their own guidelines, it's possible to highlight the points related to getting prepared. I will use the New South Wales Rural Fire Service information to provide a broad guide. Firstly, 1. Develop a bushfire survival plan. 2. Prepare your home. 3. Prepare yourself and your family. 4. Know the fire danger ratings. 5. Know the alert levels. 6. Know your neighbourhood's safer areas. 7. Building planning for bushfire protection. 8. Think about and prepare for evacuation. 9. Staying and defending. 10. Travelling in a bushfire-affected area. Ensure that you do some research online for your local guidelines to help you prepare for bushfires that have affected your area. In summary, bushfires are a natural part of the Australian landscape. There is a definite geography to bushfires, with the most severe more likely in the southern states. But their occurrence vary in time according to location and seasonal conditions, such as hot and dry conditions. Australia has a history of large and devastating bushfires, and 50% of all bushfires are caused by human activity, and the other 50% are caused by lightning. Bushfire weather conditions exist, so know your area's fire danger ratings. This will help you to prepare and decide what to do. Make sure you are prepared to take action. Climate change is expected to increase the frequency and severity of bushfires in coming decades and may already be responsible for the increased bushfire disasters. Bushfires tend to be more common and disastrous during El Niño events. The Bureau of Meteorology provides information to inform fire danger ratings in routine weather forecasts and fire weather warnings for dangerous days. Australia's states and territories have their own lead agencies for bushfires and state-based guidelines. There are many preparations individuals, families, communities and businesses can take to help them in the event of a bushfire. You may not live in an area that is affected by bushfires, but if you work or holiday in a place affected by bushfires, you could be affected. As such, it is your responsibility to understand the hazard and take appropriate actions.